especially like to welcome you to a hugely successful oil and gas lobby day. And I want to thank each of you for taking time from your busy schedule to be here. I am Woggon. I am Executive Vice President of the Ohio Chamber of Commerce. I also serve as the Executive Director of the Ohio Shale Coalition. The Ohio Shale Coalition is pleased to be one of the presenters of this event, along with the Ohio Oil and Gas Association and the Ohio Petroleum Council. The Ohio Chamber launched the Ohio Shale Coalition, which is a partnership for affordable energy and jobs, in May of 2011. We did that because we knew that shale gas was going to have one of the most profound impacts on Ohio's economy in recent history. And we wanted to make sure that we had a vehicle here in Ohio that was available to support the oil and gas industry, to help them succeed, but also to maximize the full potential of shale energy, to make sure that every Ohio business with the desire and the ability to benefit, whether it's directly, indirectly, or from induced economic activity, has the support and the ability to do that. We also wanted to help educate Ohioans about the broader economic impact of shale energy. Many of our members are here today to help tell the story of how the oil and gas industry and the exploration and production of shale gas is helping to turn around Ohio's economy. It is a very exciting story, and one that is only going to get more exciting as the shale play develops. We are still in the early stages of exploring and developing the Utica Shale Formation, with just over 200 wells drilled and less than 50 currently producing. But even at this stage, we are seeing thousands of new jobs and millions of dollars of new investments stimulating our state's economy. Unemployment is decreasing, state and local tax revenues are increasing, businesses in industry sectors like engineering, construction, steel, and manufacturing are growing, and a region of our state that has struggled economically is seeing hope again. The facts and figures included in the handout we are leaving with Ohio legislators today are just a few examples of the economic growth that is already occurring in our state because of oil and gas exploration and production in the Utica. In 2010, the Ohio Oil and Gas Energy Education Program released the first study projecting the employment and economic growth that could occur in Ohio from shale gas. The results opened a lot of people's eyes. For example, the UGEE study projected 200,000 new oil and gas related jobs by 2015. In early 2011, the economic impact study done by the Ohio Shale Coalition was released. This study was conducted by a coalition of Ohio universities led by Cleveland State University, a coalition that included the Ohio State University and Marietta College. It backed up much of what was in the UGEE study. The Ohio Shale Coalition study is based on extremely conservative projections. This was intentional. We did not want to raise people's expectations. The study projects that by 2014, Ohio will see nearly 67,000 new or supported jobs. Most of these jobs, according to the study's projections, will come from oil and gas service companies, with employment in that sector doubling between 2013 and 2014. Based on these employment projections, the study concludes that wages and benefits for workers will grow to $3.3 billion by 2014, with an average income of more than $50,000 per year per job. These are very, very good paying jobs. The Ohio Shale Coalition study also projects a $433 million increase in state and local tax revenues by 2014 as a result of increased growth in sales and employment related to oil and gas exploration. All of this adds up to an economic impact of nearly $10 billion per year by 2014. Today, we are in the early stages of the Utica Shale development. When we released the Ohio Shale Coalition Economic Impact Study in February of 2011, the play was in an even earlier stage of ability to project longer-term jobs and economic impact becomes greater. In fact, just last month, another study was released. It was conducted by IHS for a group of national organizations that included the U.S. Chambers Institute for 21st Century Energy. The second phase of this study details the impact that shale energy will have on state economies over the coming years, including Ohio's. According to the IHS study, shale energy production in Ohio has already generated over 40,000 jobs, and by 2010 will generate just over 143,000 jobs and $4 billion in state and local government revenue. I'm sure you'll agree that these numbers are pretty astounding. But I know it can be kind of hard to wrap your mind around how these studies relate to each other and what their projections mean for the average Ohioan. That's why what we are doing here today is so very, very important. Each of the businesses in this room and the hundreds of additional businesses who couldn't be here today can tell a very real story about how shale gas is helping them grow and hire new employees. And this is just the beginning. When we think about what shale gas means for our state, we need to think big. We need to think about all of the Ohioans who will have an easier life, who can finally pay off loans, send their kids to college, and buy a new house, a new car, or a new truck because of the bonuses and royalties they're receiving as a result of leasing their land for oil and gas production. We need to think about the landmen, the clerks, the legal assistants, the real estate brokers, the lawyers who have work because of this leasing activity. We need to think about the aerial mapping services, the surveyors, the engineers, the excavators, the contractors, the painters, the haulers, the safety equipment, electrical equipment, and mulch and fertilizer suppliers involved in site preparation. We need to think about the cement and concrete companies, the crane, drill bit, steel, safety equipment, and chemical manufacturers involved in well construction. We need to think about the hydraulic fracturing contractors, trucking companies, diesel fuel suppliers, and water management companies engaged in well stipulation. And we can't forget to think about the induced economic activity, the restaurants, hotels, stores, personal service providers, medical providers needed because we have a growing economy. Or the fact that we will see a rebirth in the chemical industry and a rebirth in manufacturing as a result of this activity. When people talk about shale being a game changer for Ohio's economy, this is what they mean. It is truly one of the most exciting things to happen in Ohio in a long time. I want